Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all well. It's Mr. Cooper here and Mrs. Finn here to update you at the beginning of week 3 with the changes that we've implemented based on your feedback. So this is going to be a great opportunity to just go through the new timetables, why we've made the changes that we've made, and how the timetable should allow the learning to be more focused on particular subjects and allow you to organise your time at home. So you should have received your new timetable now that pinpoints exactly when the Zoom sessions will take place. What we've done and worked really hard on making sure is that each day is balanced between core subjects and non-core subjects. So students will have obviously academic subjects such as English, maths, science, Arabic and Islamic and social studies as part of our core subjects, but that should be balanced alongside the kind of softer subjects, more practical side of things such as PE, music and French, etc. And so the idea is that children will get a kind of nice balanced selection of lessons each day, so that they're not going to spend too much time with their iPads or their devices, and to provide them with some learning opportunities that they can do away from the screen. That will hopefully also allow families with lots of children to balance the time that they spend on the learning, but also be able to step away and enjoy some PE lessons together and spend some well-being time as part of the families. So that will hopefully allow you to be much more flexible at home and for things not to be as overwhelming as they perhaps were in week 1 and week 2. And the other part of the changes, not necessarily a change in terms of a timetable, but more focused on the Zoom sessions. So you'll now see that the Zoom sessions are always tied with one of our core subjects. So in the mornings, most of the year groups will have some form of Zoom session linked to either English or mathematics. Those 15 minutes or 20 minutes sometimes are focused on whatever is being shared on Seesaw. So the teacher will deliver, as they would in the classroom, directed learning, sharing information, sharing methods, etc. Be able to ask the children questions and also be an opportunity for children to ask questions. And then the children will be able to move away from those Zoom sessions and tackle those activities that are linked on Seesaw. So there'll be a natural flow, as there is in a classroom, from children working with the teacher and then moving to work away independently. And that independence is really, really important in the fact that if the children have a good understanding, then they should be able to move away more independently. And of course, the teachers are available, if need be, to tackle any misconceptions and work with any students and provide any support with any students that may need it once the children have moved away. And so whilst those Zoom sessions are specified at 15 minutes, that doesn't mean that the Zoom sessions will last for that long. If the teacher feels the need, they may extend that period of time a little bit further into those lessons. But the main idea is that each Zoom session is focused on one of those core subjects. So you'll see we have maths and English and science Zooms, and I'm just going to hand over now to Mrs. Finn, who's going to talk to you briefly about our specialist Zoom sessions that are now happening beginning week 3. Over to you, Mrs. Finn.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. So we are excited to introduce specialist Zoom sessions from this week. Our specialist teachers were quite rightly feeling a bit left out. And we know that it's really important for the children as well, because a lot of the specialist subjects are our core offer. So just to remind you of our core subjects across primary, we have English, maths, science, Arabic, Islamic and social studies. So these are the subjects that we're really focusing on and making sure that every child is getting as much support as possible with these lessons. Now, first of all, if we look at the foundation stage, it's slightly different there with the core subjects because there's also a big focus on personal, social and emotional development, communication and language and physical development. So you'll see that in foundation stage, we also have some specialist Zoom sessions with the music teacher and also for drama. And we have them for Arabic. The reason that we've done this in foundation stage is because obviously through the children's music lessons, that's a big part of developing their communication and language skills. Also through their drama sessions, through their expressive play. Again, that's a massive focus on not only personal, social and emotional development, but also again, developing those real core communication and language skills. We've also added a session in FS1 with our inclusion teacher, Mrs. Gaffar, for all of our FS1 students, which will focus further on communication and language. We just really want to keep this a real high priority because that feeds into everything else. The communication and language has to be strong for children to develop in literacy, to develop in maths, etc. So it is really important that that keeps going through the remote learning period. From the primary stage, so from year 1, we also are going to have an Islamic session. So you'll see that we are not having the non-core subjects in primary. We're just having a real focus on Islamic and on Arabic. So we're excited that the teachers will get to engage with the students via the Zoom sessions, and they'll get to give them a bit of an input before the lesson takes place itself. You'll also see that over the coming weeks, our Islamic teachers are going to be introducing some recitation activities, which the children can dip into throughout the week just to keep those skills high. And the Arabic teachers, particularly in Arabic A, will be focusing on some speaking and listening activities, again, to keep those skills high during the remote learning period. We're also very excited to introduce on Wednesday afternoons, we're going to have some unplugged time. Again, all of the changes that we've made have come from the suggestions that we've had from parents, from children, around how you're getting on with your remote learning at home. So the unplugged time is really just what it says on the tin, to give you some time away from the computer. So normally throughout the week, when we're on site and in school, we would have 2 enrichment slots across the whole of primary. So from FS2 right up until year 6, we have rejigged the timetable so that those enrichment slots are occurring on a Wednesday afternoon. So some of the teachers, I know that FS2 are going to introduce those enrichment slots during the assembly on a Wednesday afternoon, so that it is truly unplugged and that you don't need to go back onto the computer to find out what it is. And we'll encourage you to be doing activities that don't that aren't IT based and don't mean that you're needing to upload a lot of work afterwards. So again, across the primary, that should give the children a chance to step away from the computers and focus a bit on their well-being. And I'll give you back over to Mr. Cooper.
Thank you very much. So there it is, a few updates in terms of what we have planned for this week based upon your feedback. Of course, we're going to continue to seek your feedback as we move through these next few weeks. Obviously, we know that this is for the long term, all the way through to June now. So we'll continue to make tweaks and adjustments to ensure that all our children are receiving the education that's going to have the best impact on them. And that's really important for us. So please keep sending us your feedback on things that you would like to see happening and how we can tweak, but also please make sure you're communicating with your teacher. Of course, some children will require less iPad time and less live sessions and will prefer to work independently, but also some children will want and need some extra support from their teachers as well. So keep feeding back to your teacher, and if your child is getting stuck on certain aspects of their learning, then please share that with that teacher, because they will of course do absolutely everything they can to make sure that they are learning, their learning is effective and it is working for all our students, which is obviously very tricky when we're working through this remote period of time, but it's really important. So any feedback or communication you have, please share that with your class teacher, and they will do everything possible to ensure all of our children are successful over this term. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you had a great weekend, and we look forward to another successful week ahead of our remote learning. Have a really good evening. See you later.
Bye-bye.